Setting proper expectations is one of the best ways to avoid ill will between you and a client. Bending the expectation into something you think a client wants to hear but is not realistic, or simply setting a false expectation just to get the job, that can cause grave damage to your business. Bad news about you and your company can spread very quickly. Hey there, it's Chris with Footbridge Media. Let's talk today about how you can set proper expectations for your business with 4 simple steps. If you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe to get more contractor marketing tips and tricks. Before we get too far, let's talk about what happens when you fail to set proper expectations. We've all experienced it in one way or another. You have an expectation of how something is supposed to go, and then it doesn't happen as promised, and you feel betrayed in that situation. It could be as simple as a friend saying they'd meet up with you, and then they ghost you, or a professional relationship where the person you were working with could not deliver the product or service on time as scheduled and agreed upon. All of us have been on the receiving end of that in one way or another. In business, more times than not, setting a false expectation or failing to follow through on a reasonable expectation can destroy the customer relationship and do harm to you and your company. A proper expectation has a plan behind it to bring it to fulfillment. Proper expectations can be achieved, but if you fail, your customer will feel like they've been violated. They put their trust in you, you let them down, and you violated their trust. So how do we set proper expectations? Let's go through the 4-step process here to get that done. Step number 1, your team has to be on the same page. The first step in setting proper expectations is to define the typical things your customers will want answers to. Things like price, time to completion, follow-up service, maintenance requirements, and so on and so forth. Once you've defined those areas of expectations, the people on your team and your employees, to whatever extent they're involved in the fulfillment of that expectation, they need to know what their part is. For example, your crew leader needs to know what time they need to be there and what time the crew needs to be there on the job site and how long they are expected to take to complete the job. If a crew leader feels like that is not a reasonable expectation, they need to have a voice in helping define the proper expectation to set. Every contact with a customer, whether by phone, in person, text, email, whatever, is an opportunity to set an appropriate expectation. Having all employees that communicate with your customers on the same page, that goes a long way to getting the customer's expectations set right the first time. Step number 2, don't oversell. Overselling your product or service to nail a deal is a bad way to do business. If you set too lofty an expectation, what happens when you deliver reality? What happens is they tell their friends and family there's nothing special about what you provided. If they even do that, then that's simply because the expectation was set higher than it should be. So will they badmouth you? Not necessarily, but they're probably never going to buy from you again, and they're definitely not going to refer any new customers your way. Step 3, remember to value your customer's time. There's nothing more frustrating than to waste someone's time. Being vague with delivery times for services, parts, or work products is frankly disrespectful. We all have schedule conflicts. The key to turning a schedule conflict is to get in touch with the customer early, as soon as you know, and reschedule so that you can reset their expectations. And that's step number 4, resetting expectations. There will always be things that happen that will get in the way of fulfilling the expectation you set for your client. The key to handling this is to be proactive and reset their expectation. Proactive communication will go a long way in keeping a good customer relationship. Most people are reasonable enough and they'll allow for a change if the situation calls for it. But they will never know if you or your employees are not proactive with communication to clients when changes happen. Proper expectations make life easier for everyone. Focusing on setting proper expectations will go a long way in providing excellent customer service. Getting your team on the same page, selling appropriately, valuing your customers' time, and resetting expectations when necessary can help you keep customers, gain repeat business, and reap the rewards of their referrals. If you need help with your construction or home services businesses, the pros at Footbridge Media are here to help, and we'll set proper expectations all along the way. You can learn more about how we help contractors just like you by checking us out online at footbridgemedia.com.